شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Good evening. We are glad you are here with us. Today is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. You are watching RTA News with me, Suleiman Talash. The Minister of Interior Affairs, Khalifa Sirajuddin Haqqani, visited Paktika province where he toured to Ashab al-Safa Madrasa located in Yahya Khel district. During his visit, he met with the teachers and students of the madrasa, listened to their suggestions, and assured them of his full support and cooperation. Maulavi Nida Muhammad Nadeem, the Minister of Higher Education, made an official visit to the University of Kannur province. During his visit, he held a meeting with the members of the university's academic council and the faculty of Sharia to discuss the latest activities of the Ministry of Higher Education. He emphasized that the ministry is committed to strengthening and standardizing the country's education system. Additionally, the minister approved several important initiatives, including the construction of a metal fence around the dormitory campus, the establishment of a drinking water reservoir for students, and a designed location for the Faculty of Sharia, among other key projects. Sohail Shaheen, the head of the Islamic Emirates political office in Qatar, met with Chinese Ambassador Shao Lin to discuss several important issues. In a post on his X page, Mr. Shaheen mentioned that the discussed strengthening bilateral relations, focusing on good neighbor lines, trade and investment. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Public Health stated that nearly 6,000 cases of measles have been reported in the country this year, marking an increase compared to last year. Expert doctors attribute this rise in cases to lapses in vaccination schedules and inadequate nutrition for children. Let's see more in the report. According to a spokesperson for the Ministry of Public Health, the number of positive measles cases, especially among children under 5, has increased compared to last year. This year, nearly 6,000 cases of measles have been reported. In response to this rise in cases, the Ministry of Public Health plans to launch a national vaccination campaign in the near future.
Measles is a viral disease. In Afghanistan, sometimes the graph of this disease is raised in children. Compared to the last year, the graph of suspicious incidents has gone up a little bit. Therefore, as many samples have been taken by our surveillance teams there, the graph of the incidents has also gone up compared to the last year, and which is positive for this year. There are less than 6,000 incidents. In the next month, we plan to implement the national measles vaccination campaign. Besides, through this, we will be able to prevent the increase of the measles in Afghanistan.
Doctors at Arghandi Children's Health Hospital confirmed an increase in disease levels compared to last year, attributing it to delays in vaccination and inadequate nutrition.
We apply measles vaccines to children in 9 months, which is free and very effective, which means that if a child is vaccinated, there is a very small chance of getting measles. Unfortunately, when a number of children are hospitalized here, their family insists that they have not received any measles vaccines. They have not even received other vaccines, which is a family neglect in the pediatric department.
The World Health Organization has raised concerns about the rise of measles in Afghanistan, reporting that approximately 160 measles related to death were recorded in the country by 2024. Sohail Shaheen, the head of the Islamic Emirates political office in Qatar, met with Katriana Redress, the Red Crescent Society representative in Afghanistan. Mr. Shaheen mentioned on his X page that the meeting focused on humanitarian aid for the people of Afghanistan, the health sector, climate change, and other related issues. The Afghan Red Crescent Society reports that Sheikh Shahabuddin Dilawar, the director of the organization, has requested Yan Yasan, the head of the German Peace Village Charity Foundation, to maintain their financial cooperation. Additionally, the financial manager of the foundation has committed to continuing its humanitarian aid and fostering long-term collaboration with the foundation. The National Disaster Preparedness Agency helped 500 people with food in Kabul. According to officials, this agency is committed to continuing its assistance to those affected by natural and unnatural disasters. Let's see more in the report.
In Kabul, there are 500 victims. The National Disaster Preparedness Agency has provided food aid. Officials state that, with winter approaching, they're fully prepared to continue their emergency assistance to the affected families.
We gather information from various people and districts where our managers operate. Each province has its department that also contributes an information.
Officials appreciate the help from the international community and national investors and ask for more assistance.
The United Nations is helping by urging aid organizations to address the needs of affected individuals and the Afghan population. We request the assistance be delivered transparently, either directly or through us, to ensure it reaches those in need.
Some affected citizens welcome the aid and insist it continues.
A team visited the scene and conducted a survey. We appreciate their efforts. They contacted us and requested that we come to the department to receive aid. This aid is insufficient as people have suffered greatly. Thus, we request additional support from the Islamic Emirate.
The National Disaster Preparedness Agency is a primary organization providing timely assistance to victims of natural and unnatural disasters at a national level, consistently reaching out to vulnerable populations.
The Ministry of Education announced the reconstruction projects for 26 madrasas, schools and Darul Ulooms were initiated last week in the provinces of Ghazni, Daikundi, Paktia, Maidan Wardak, Farah and Faryab. The total cost of these projects amounts to 229,225,000 Afghanis. Additionally, 6 schools, 1 Darul Uloom and an orphanage building have been constructed and are now operational. The ministry also mentioned that the funding for these projects was provided by the budget of the Ministry of Education, as well as contributions from cooperative institutions and supportive citizens. Maulavi Matiul Haq Khalis, Director General of the National Environmental Protection Agency, met with Rosa Otanbievia, the United Nations Special Representative in Afghanistan, along with her delegation. During this meeting, they discussed the environmental situation in Afghanistan, the fight against climate change, the relevant agreements, and the status and objectives of the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Mr. Khalis emphasized that climate change is a humanitarian issue that should not be politicized. He urged UNAMA officials to continue their cooperation with the National Environmental Protection Agency. Additionally, the head of UNAMA stated that the Global Conference on Climate Change represents a valuable opportunity for Afghanistan, allowing the Afghan delegation to participate in the future international meetings. The head of UNAMA affirmed the commitment to continued collaboration with the National Environmental Protection Agency in the fight against climate change. And the final one is that the hospital in Panjshir province has received an impressive shipment of medical and non-medical equipment valued at $80,000 US. The Ministry of Public Health confidently states that thanks to the financial support of the International Committee of the Red Crescent, ICRC, it has successfully delivered essential equipment including an 80-kilowatt generator, a transformer, an operating table, and a monitor, along with other vital supplies to the Rakhid District Hospital in Panjshir province. And that's all for tonight. We will be back with more news updates. Until then, stay tuned. Have a good night.
پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا